Yo, what's good, everybody? Hello and good morning from Los Angeles, California. I am Joey J. Ping of Respect My Region, and today we're on another episode of the RMR Podcast. Now, folks, we've got a very special guest today. We've got Jay Wright here, store manager of Little Beach Harvest. This is a gentleman who we had on back in January, February timeframe in the beginning of the year. We were talking a lot about just their new dispensaries, their new dispensary location that they've been working at. They're in tribal nation, tribal lands, territories there in New York. You guys are up there in the Long Island area. People wouldn't think that there's tribal lands in those areas necessarily. Like the
Yeah,
general ignorant American who doesn't know everything about every geography everywhere, right? Like most of us, right? We have
yeah,
no
that's
clue where things are at. We think of tribal lands, and we think of like Oklahoma. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Things like that.
Midwest type shit.
Right.
Western, yeah.
Yeah. And so today, guys, we're going to celebrate Native American Heritage Month. And we brought Jay here because not only is he and his family and his culture Native Americans, but it's important for us to understand the culture, the indigenous things that go on in society still today. For those of you guys that live in the United States, there's been a lot of craziness going on all over our country. Maybe you're for it, maybe you don't like it, maybe you care, maybe it doesn't affect you, but the reality is that we live in a society where there is a very much diverse groups of people, and it's important for us to break it down and help people understand each other. And so, Jay, I appreciate you joining and rocking us today. Um, Folks, today's
Sure.
episode is brought to you guys by Deep Roots as well. A big shout out to Deep Roots, our SEO partner. They are the premier marketing agency for all things SEO. If you're a dispensary or a delivery service, you want more money, you want more visitors, more dispensary, more foot traffic to your locations, you got to rock with Deep Roots. Now, Jay,
Yes,
happy
sir.
Happy Native American Heritage Month. How
Thank
is
you.
November going for you? What have you been up to?
Good. Yeah, man, it's really good. November's a special time for us, not only as indigenous culture goes, but also for Little Beach Harvest as itself,
Mm-hmm.
because this is also the time of the month where we actually opened up.
Last year, you
November
guys are a
5th.
year, and in 2 days, it'll be your year anniversary, correct?
We're 2 years now. We're at
Oh,
two
2 years.
years.
2 years. That's
Yeah,
right.
two
That's right.
years. Yeah, November 15th of 2023 is when we opened up for the very first time.
Wow.
When we opened up the doors to everybody into the community, and we've been rocking ever since. So this November, it just means a lot to us. Every November is gonna mean, just as much as it already does, it's just gonna hit it a little bit harder because of the strides and the significance of what it is for LBH to be in existence, not only as a tribally owned business, but as a business that is for the community itself.
You guys represent the people that you live with, that you guys that live around you, that live near the business, that people that
100%.
people that they could look like you, they could sound like us. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It could be
yeah,
whatever. It could be whatever it is. New York, diverse place. Long Island, interesting place. I do remember because we're talking 10 months ago now. Our episode, man, it's been a while. Time flies.
yeah. It's been a minute, man.
It's
That's
crazy
gang
how
right
quickly
here. You
time flies.
gang, bro.
Come on,
Double
man.
back.
I remember you saying that you guys have some pretty wealthy areas near
Oh
the
yeah,
tribal lands,
yeah,
right?
yeah. We're in the
It's
Hamptons, so
Yep.
the area itself is, and not even just the Hamptons itself. It's Long Island. Long Island is pretty known for its extravagant lifestyle, so to speak. Whether that's like parties and like just beach views
Yeah.
and the things that happen in that area. But most importantly, like when you go further out east, where we are on the eastern end of the Hamptons, you deal with a lot more of some of the wealth that's over yonder, over when you look over the beach at our beach. I was just like actually on a call with Zoe just a moments before you and I hopped on, and I was down at my waters smoking, and I was just like getting ready, for this interview and things, and just getting my premeditation on. I snapped her a picture of my beach and stuff like that. And so if you look into
Little
that
Beach
picture,
Harvest.
though,
You have a is it a big beach or is it a little beach? Is it actually
oh,
little?
yeah, our beach is very big. Our whole we have two beaches, and also on top of the fact that Cooper's Beach is actually technically our beach because it would be the area where my tribe was already originated from and
Yeah.
inhabiting from the jump. So it's not really the whole island. If we were to really be speaking when it comes to the beaches, from the eastern end to the Montauk and to everywhere to Cooper's Beach. And Cooper's Beach is one of the, I believe it was rated the top, one of the top 10
Let them
beaches
know.
in the world.
Let them know.
Yeah,
Who
so
would have thought
yeah.
New York has a top 10
Yeah,
beach in the
exactly. So
world?
look that up, Cooper's Beach, and it's up there. I want to say it's top 5 or something like that.
Come on, man. That's
But
crazy.
that's where my territory is, right over there, and basically over though, even though we're on this parcel of land, when you look over the water, there's mansions and things over there,
Yeah.
like Diddy's house and shit, and like Calvin Klein and them live over in this
Let them
area.
know. Okay,
So so
so there's clearly, I wouldn't say there's an imbalance because that area has been that way for some time. So it
right,
operates with a form of version of
right.
balance, right?
But
It just
unfortunately, it operates as if it doesn't have culture.
so
Unfortunately, like it
I was gonna
operates
ask
as
that
if
usually like when I go over into Rodeo and Beverly, it feels
yeah.
a little luxury cookie
The
cutter,
town,
you
well,
know?
bro, the town itself, we gotta love hate. Like, there's obviously people from the town, like individuals who have grown up with members of the territory, members of actual community, and members of just good, like people who are actually just good people. And of course, you have the other half of that, where it's always going to be a combatant of the tribe in some form, whether that's with paper or pitchforks. So
Yeah.
it was always there. There's always that combatant that we deal with, where they would rather not see us be around if they or go like this if they could,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because of or the fact of
Is it
the
still that
feeling
way,
that we
Jay?
can do our stuff.
That it's still that way today. We're still getting treated that way. The weed and the
I mean,
indigenous are that right
we're in
now.
current battles with the town itself right now for our land and stuff. Like, we deal with current battles of our already land that we live on, to this day and age. So, like,
It's a constant.
yeah,
It's a constant.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I was saying that whether it's paper or a pitchfork,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? The paper is
It's
litigation. The
not always
paper is
spray
all
painting Teslas and
yeah,
trying to keep
yeah.
people's cars. It can often
It's
be done
court
in business
systems.
and city and legislation.
Yeah, it's all kinds of stuff, and it's things that they try to not have us let us have, or try to get in the way of us having, because it will infringe on what they consider their lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, like, we deal with what we deal with, and as every other culture and tribe and nation in the world. But yes, as a indigenous tribe, we still deal with the same shit that we've been dealing with. But it's all about the resiliency, and I think that's the biggest part about LBH as well. Is like, it's here for 2 years now, going on a day now, in a day, and it's doing it without help. You know what I'm saying? It had investors. They're not here. They're not. We had people that were supposed to help us, but we're doing it by ourselves, and we're here. And most businesses can't do that. And it's important for other tribes to see that we're able to be resilient like this, and be able to work on your own and do it without a handout.
Hmm.
So it's tough, and it's an everyday struggle, but the cause is great. you
One
know
of the questions that I have here, and this is towards the beginning, and I feel like this is an important one for everybody to understand, is the importance of the month. And not just the
hmm
singular month of Native American Heritage Month, but the importance of Native American culture throughout the course of a year. So, this is going to be a two-parter for you. How important is it for this month and what it represents, what it means to you, what it represents in the community there? But then, what can we do over the course of 12 months to keep this conversation not just be a trend, but to make change and impact?
I think the significance of the month for me is just understanding that my people, because we practice Nanawa, which is the other version of what you guys would call Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Um, that we in the culture of most indigenous cultures have always been helpers, people to lend hand, people to help growth. build growth and support and nurture, take care, and the so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So I feel as though that whenever I get around this time, or whenever I get around family, and realizing that you have family elsewhere, like who you do it for, take your breath for the next person. I think that's like one of the things that I take away from just being one indigenous every single day, of like the medicine people, the medicine men and the medicine women, the families and the cultures, the clans that's been before me, that have been fighting for this stuff like for a long time, and having to deal with resiliency, and so much controversy, whether living in this like town or somewhere else. But then on top of that, taking it further with past the month of November itself, is just keeping that mindset of like do it for your neighbor, do it for your people, whether you benefit from it or not. As long as you do it for a just cause and it's right, then you'll always have a pretty much good reason for anything you do in life. I really feel like the only reason why I'm so attached to this project is because I'm doing it for my people. If it's I could do this for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I have the
Yeah, man,
means
we gotta make money for the job, pay our
right.
bills. We gotta have
Like I could
gas and food. All that.
exactly. But at the end of the day, what my mindset is for is the next steps for my tribe, the next 7 generations for my tribe, the people who I do it for the future. So that's I take it past 12 months. I take it 7 years. I got to think about the future with this project of something that's just so fresh, so new, not only to New York, not only to the people, but also to my tribe. I have to take it very much seriously and plan for that future. So it's about just taking the necessary steps to make sure that my tribe is, taken care of.
Were you always so tribe centric or tribe focused, tribal nation focused? I'll be real.
Um,
I don't know many young dudes like us. I'm
yeah,
34 and down. I don't know very many people like our age and down that growing up were volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club or
that's
supporting where I'm
facts.
from, the Muckleshoot tribe, the Muckleshoot
Yeah,
Nation where I'm from, right? I don't know very many people that went out of their way to go insert themselves into that community if they were like me, which I'm not
yeah,
a tribal individual. We weren't encouraged or brought in to go care about it. But I also don't remember anybody in those communities particularly
communities being
doing
part of
it besides the
that.
OG, besides
Yeah,
the OGs. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be
How
honest with
where
you.
when did that start for you, Jay? When did you start really,
I
really
didn't.
realizing that you could have serious impact in participating in that way?
To be honest with you, I've always kind of felt like that, but I was always like a leader in sports. Like I played sports, that kind of thing, where like I built off of
It makes sense.
community. Like we would have dinners, like family dinners and things like that, and like plan and do like I don't know. It was always like family entity that I always like took accustomed to and always was a part of. So when it comes to the people who you literally are related to and live next door to, when it's something where you at least have some sort of expertise in, why not be a part of that to where you could try to help and benefit them in some form of fashion. Like I've always just been trying a person who wants to help. That like that's just my I guess I wouldn't say like I go out the way to try to help, but if I see my help is needed, I'm there. You know,
Yeah.
there,
There's a lot of places you could be, Jay. There's a lot
yeah,
of other jobs. Maybe not now, but two years ago when the economy was still bad, but maybe not the billions of people needing jobs in America or
right,
whatever it is. But like someone with your skill set, you could be spending your time helping people a lot of different ways, right?
right,
You got sports background. We could be helping kids. We could be cleaning, volunteering. We could be doing something outside, whatever it is, right?
yep,
And you're choosing to do this project and spend the longevity that you have on this. I think it speaks volumes to not only your passion and interest, but how you've creatively been able to blend this entrepreneurialism with this passion for helping people. I think that's something that should really be admired and people should really pay attention to and figure out their own version of that. I think that would be amazing for people to figure out how to be more helpful for their community and things like that.
Appreciate it.
Now, Jay, I remember the last time you were breaking down how you guys have a similar set of rules to the regular New York State adult market, but it's still ultimately different, right? Has
Yeah.
anything changed? Any updates or big things that
Nothing.
really stand out over the
Nothing.
last year?
Nothing too out of the normal. We're still heavy on testing. Nothing comes in through the door without it being done in a full panel testing through and through. Doesn't matter if you're family or not. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what brand you are. Everything must be through a third party source who we use and tested of sort that way. Right now we're rolling in. I'm planning out our cultivation facility. So all that will be the next steps within LBH and within our tribe's progression
Cool.
within this cannabis industry. So once that's even more solidified, then we can even explore some more limits of what we can and what we could do in a safe and healthy manner. But everything right now is smooth and fluid. It's I'm loving it. All our brands are great within the store. People I love the experience. They love having the accessibility to ask for a test because I keep those on hand. I have a binder full of that stuff where it's individualized by brand, and they're able to, if they ever have a question, a doubt, anything like that, I am very willing enough to be like, hey, check out this full panel testing of whatever product you need, because
Bam.
because that's what's important. I don't want to build.
Are you printing that off or the brand sending it to you?
We both. They send it to.
That's
They said they. I asked them to send it to us, and then
yeah.
we print it here at the spot. But most of the time, it's definitely just me saying, "Yo, I need all this." And in regards, they send it to me without, like I said, because it doesn't come into the store without it being under that regulated
Yeah, it has to be
regulation.
folks for the consumers watching, folks. The product has to be tested
Yeah,
for it to be compliant. It has to have a passing thing and on a variety of specific items that are required for these tests. People typically get a full panel so that we have more information available beyond what's legally required as well.
yeah. So it's important that people do know what they are consuming. And if they have questions like that, it's the same thing as reading the back of a label of your fucking, like, you know, Cocoa Puffs or something.
Yep.
Like, so
Yep.
it's like, it's just you people want to read it and have that in their hand. And it's important that that's what you give them because they want to trust you. And trust is important, especially when you're dealing with something that they need, one, first off, and two, always has a certain negative stigma against it. So when you're able to provide that kind of good information, showing them that this is a healthy living soil, like good condition, good everything, like everything's above passing grade, some more than what you even expect it to be tested for, we do. So it's just like important to be transparent with people, I would
Yeah.
say, in this industry. And when you're doing that, especially being indigenous and especially being in the cannabis industry, there's no losing into that because you're just building more and more trust within your community.
And in a time frame where trust is more important
Oh yeah.
now in these early stages for building a relationship and establishing consistent knowledge and good habits, it's just more important now than it is, in my opinion, later on down the road.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, we want to always be transparent and over communicate, but I just feel like right now is the time to put in the extra effort, that extra over communication, and later on we can rely on digital and things like that when it opens up and the laws change and things like that. But right now we just really got to be personal, make sure we're communicating at a high level and with accurate information. I think that ultimately is the super key here. You mentioned and we're talking a little bit about some of the brands and the products that you guys are selling. What's Jay's Fab Five right now?
We have. Well, should I start from the five down or one up?
I like let's starting at number five. Your starting center. It's
All right.
basketball season
All
again,
right. All
so
right. Yeah, that's a fact. All right. So I would say right now we just got some cookies in, some nice cookie pre-rolls, some Gary Payton
Oh,
that I
cool.
like, and some London pound cake. Those are
Love that.
keef, those are diamond and keef wrapped, and then some the London pound cake flour inside. I like
Oh, yeah.
those. We also have number four will probably be. I'm really on the smoking or edibles. Like I don't like I vape, and if I
Okay.
vape, it's just like I'll have one on me, but this is because like it's gang. I'll pull that out as number three. Actually, I'll pull that out as number three.
Okay, let
That
him know.
actually might make number two. All right, so number
Oh, damn. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
number three would be the little beach bite gummies that we have. Those are always valid. No,
What
no,
was
no, no.
four?
The four is the treetops. Four is the treetop. They're hash rosin. That's hash
Oh,
rosin
okay.
gummies. I got those in 50s. And then
Ooh,
yeah, 50s and hundreds. And then
damn.
number
Smack it.
two is something fresh and new to the market that we got. These are our little beach pods, right?
Ooh,
Yeah, so we got these
yeah.
in sativa, indica, and hybrids. These are all in ones, and when you're done with it, you can pop it out, come back and get a new pod and just put it right in. Hit you with the little 5 clicks on the side. That bad boy is ready to go. It's preheat. It's got everything. It's liquid diamonds. So
Okay.
this is about 97% THC here.
Holy
So
shit.
yeah, that's a sativa. That's mango madness. That works. Uh,
He
and then
said that works.
and then my number one is my super sour haze that we have. That's done in some living soil. Um, Great flower. That's testing out 32% THC. People love it. It's a good euphoric high. It's like very much like if you I like to make music, and so if you're into like being just creative or just having a good clean smoke, I suggest that one. That's one of my favorites. That's like one of the ones that all the people here now have been so accustomed to because they're New York is a sativa heavy vibe. Everyone loves sativas, and the haze category is like then they're you
I was
know
about to ask you, tell me a little bit about the flavor palette that you
uh
guys got out there,
it's
man. Is it because your guys' region, obviously Long Island, it is New York,
yeah,
but it ain't the city
yeah,
exactly.
no,
So
and everything is
so it's like,
indoor.
yeah, so like you got, it's like, what are those top selling products, and talk about some of those strains and some of those flavors that you're talking about from a
Yeah,
haze
so that
standpoint and
super
the
sour
sours.
haze, man, that super sour haze is like really on a like zesty sour taste. It has like
Yeah,
but airy. It still has that airy haze taste. So if you're used to haze and it has that just that sticky, airy, like clean.
sour, bitter, sticky,
Yeah,
lemony,
exactly.
zesty,
That's it.
funky bite.
That's it. And but it's such a good, it's a clean smoke, no burn, no peppery, nothing. It's nice. It's nice. Then I would probably say the other ones on there, some lemon slam. I love sativas. So the lemon
Yeah.
slam is another one
Okay.
that's like a on a maybe a little bit comparable to to the sour haze that has like just a little bit more dankness to it though, and it's like because I want to say is that one the laser no no that's great, but the laser fuel is a mixture of the sour diesel that
Okay.
yeah that one. So if you're a fan of sour diesel like most New York people are, and which people typically ask for us all the time. We do carry sour diesel here all the time, but this one is like a nice crossbreed between sour diesel, jet fuel killer, and uh, zap. What is it? Zapple sauce and something else. It's yeah. It's a
Wow.
crossbreed between that. We
See,
all.
for me as a smoker, Jay, I need the classic strains, like
Mhm.
the original versions of them. Not to say like, oh, I need sour diesel, the
We
first
got
one or whatever.
Jack. We got some classic
Yeah.
Jack Herrera here too that
But you,
slaps.
yeah, you see what I'm saying? That's like I need a Jack, I need a Super Lemon Haze, I need
Yep.
a Amnesia. If I'm
Yeah.
in New York and I'm thinking, or if I'm going over to Spain, because Spain's real big on the hazes and the amnesias and shit like too. So it's like if I'm going to either of those places and I'm thinking sativas, or I'm thinking just strains from those areas, the strains that come to mind for me are Sour D, New York Sour D,
Yeah.
Purple Sour D. Those kind. You could do. What's that other guy's Sour D out there that came out there last 2 years ago or so? Anyways, all those people, right? And then you get into the hazes, amnesia. Hey, you got the black haze,
Mm-hmm.
right? I also think about the piff. I discovered the piff over the last couple
If
years.
it's gas.
Piff goes crazy. I smoked two Piff strains in 2024
Mm-hmm.
that made my top 5 for the year.
Okay.
Crazy.
Okay.
One from Massachusetts, the Blue Piff from Nimbus, and then one from, why am I blanking on this guy? It was the Grapefruit Piff from
Yo.
something Piff Gardens in New York, but I bought it in Hawaii.
You know what's
Of all places.
crazy that you just said grapefruit? I just copped some units of some grapefruit from the grow that we just had fresh. We're waiting for the testing to come back, but it
Let's
should
go.
be
Yeah, that's
around
just
like
gotta
26. Great. Have
crazy
you had
profile because you get this haze,
uh-huh.
you get this
Yep.
electricity, zestiness,
Yep.
tropicalness, and then for some reason it's really just a head changer.
Robust. Yeah.
Like, yeah, yeah.
Have
It's real.
you had melted strawberries?
I have, but sitting here right now, it was in a pre roll, and I just wasn't impressed.
Okay, yeah, now you need that. You need that out the like flour in your
Flower,
hand. Yeah,
yeah.
we have tons of melted strawberry here. I gotta probably put that in your hands. Melted strawberry is another favorite around here. That for us out here, not that for we try to tell people that testing, not testing, like percentages isn't where you should be going by. It's the terpenes and everything like that, the profile that you really should be looking for. But that bad boy right there is around like 33% THC, and it's a sativa, and it's just like people love it here.
Do you place trust? Just a two-part question potentially. We'll see how I formulate it in my head because hearing you mention what you said there, and then consistently refer to the THC as a selling point of that percentage, but you're not necessarily like selling me on the weed, but you are using it as a reference point for
Yeah.
like its max. You know what I mean? Do you believe in that number playing into like the efficacy of it hitting? Like that the smack of the flower?
No,
Because I do personally. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there and say I do. That's why I'm
I
asking. Because you
think
talk about it like I do.
I think that it is it's not a vital point, but it's a it's
It's a
a
flag. Pay attention.
yeah, it's something because you could give it, but it works
Too low,
dangerous
red
way.
flag. Too high, red
Yeah,
flag.
but it could work dangerously because I know people who get ripped off for 16%. Like
That's
ripped.
very doable because the terpene profile could create that.
Exactly.
You could have
Exactly.
the right.
So it's dangerous to sometimes to play the number game, but it is just such a component of, I guess, one for for the consumer, and also for the person selling, the bud tender, because it's just like one of those things where it's like people are so put off by something being low. They think because, but that goes to the you being educated on it or not, and that's why it's
I
like
mean, I'm also too. I'm not going to buy a car that has low statistics either. You
right,
know what I mean? I'm not
right.
going to go buy a car with low gas
I,
mileage
I
anymore. Like
as someone
let the
who's
world lead.
also like you're a regular consumer of cannabis, you know what you need.
Mm-hmm.
That's also the other part about that. You know what's going to work for you. You know that like a 15 ain't going to hit the way you want. So if you hear something because like we have stuff in here for 45% THC, but those are like
Yeah, the infused stuff, the
right.
diamonds and
Yeah,
heat coated
the
shit.
our boutiques infused pre-rolls are 54, 56, and then our flower itself from a brand called Spark, which is also another indigenous brand. They have their stuff with some wedding mints for like 45% THC, and it's the nugs, it's the flower, it's like space nugs. So those
Oh, some like moon rock type stuff.
exactly. So those things are more of a seller for those people who want that. So
Yeah.
when they ask, I have customers who come in here. All right. So I guess to answer that question really is based on the consumer and how they walk in, because I have consumers that
Great
walk in.
answer.
I have consumers walk in that say, "Give me the highest shit." Okay,
To serve that person the best, you should talk numbers. That's what
exactly.
they want.
Yeah, yeah,
To serve that person
yeah.
and to
So what we
now it's
say is,
not
do
to
you
say
want to
we
be here? Or
don't
do you want to
mention
be there?
terpenes. If they and if people, this is you know what? Shout out Jay here, man. Store manager coming in at Little Beach Harvest, giving
Yeah,
you guys the game of what to do in real time. Not like from an actual dispensary perspective, you guys. You guys got to understand the best way to serve the people is to serve them how they want to be treated. We always say things like meet them where they're at, and
yeah.
oh, don't we all want the same thing? No,
No.
we're all looking to be treated how we want to be treated, and with the products that we're talking about
Yeah.
today. Don't come to me about some other shit when I'm here for this.
Yep.
But we got to get there. We got to communicate effectively, right? And so I think that's huge, man. That's a really great piece of advice and some hot perspectives there.
Absolutely.
You also mentioned another Indigenous brands, and that got me another question in my head, rocking. What are some Indigenous brands you can shout out there that you guys work with, and maybe some that you don't that just deserve some love?
Yeah, sure. No, we work with Sparked, of course. That's the upstate, up in Akwesasne. We use also here on territory, Pashon, Eastern Botanicals, Big Boy Buds, Shinnecock Hemp. We have some more on the way. Bearden Buds, he's launching soon here on territory. He's going to be more on the vapes and the rosins. So that's
Cool.
another side of the game that isn't really touched much within tribal territory up here, at least. So that's like
Yeah,
really nice.
that's why you guys started making some of your own
Yeah,
products.
exactly. And we have ours coming, so it's really nice to have more representation within those brands like that who are out here. And then of course,
That's
like I
huge.
just ran into my boy Alex. He's over at Sky World. I really like all his stuff. He came through and dropped the care package off for me because I had him on my pod just a little while ago, and he had
Let's
some really
go.
gas. So I love all his flower too. So hopefully there's some opportunity out there. But he's also another indigenous owner and brand as well. So
Yeah,
that's good.
Zoe put him on my radar as well.
Yeah,
We're looking to get that figured
yeah,
out
that's
and bring him
gang for
on here.
sure. He popped up there. I got to get you out here too, man. He pulled
I,
up. It's love. He was like, "Damn, bro, like when you come up here, it's like." I asked him because from one culture to another, but being still brothers at the end of the day, I was like, yo, when you go on your territory, how do you feel? Like off of like when you all right, so like there's a thing, right? Where our territory is still basically on the main road. Like you passing it on the main road. So like
yeah,
and on that main road is town. All that, like regular shit, like all regular houses, regular town, all that. So I was asking him,
not non-sovereign
yeah,
territory.
exactly. So I was asking him, like, yo, how do you feel when you leave off of your territory and you come back on? And he was like, I take a deep breath, like it feels like different air. And I was like, exactly. I was like, what's crazy is that's how everyone else here feels as well when we leave off.
Yeah,
It's a sense of relief when you leave off when you leave off and you come back on. And it's just like whatever weight and all
yeah,
that.
that's your home, and there's
Exactly.
a different.
Exactly.
We I'll sit here and say, like, I just got here back here this morning right from my trip. There wasn't a sense for me, and it's not that I don't love Los Angeles because I do, and I love where I'm at, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have that same appreciation
Mm-hmm.
that you got that your homie just said that
Yeah.
for that, or even that you are also relaying. You have a similar feeling
Yeah.
and get that similar sense as well. I don't get that, and it comes from a sense of probably just the classic privilege, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our American United
This is
States
it. Right.
white privilege,
Right.
right? Of just like, oh no, this is just how my
This is
life's
it.
been. It's
Right.
never really been worse, or it's never really been so drastically
Yeah.
different for me to know better, right? And that's something that we really have to recognize, Jay. And that's a good point to bring up, right? Is we should all take a moment
Take
to
that
just
deep breath.
appreciate what we have.
Yo, take
To
that
take a
deep
deep
breath,
breath of the
gang.
air that we get access to. You know what I'm saying? And to move at a little pace. It doesn't have to be all the time, right? Don't change your whole life for it necessarily, but it's okay. to take a moment or to do that or to build that habit in,
Mm-hmm.
right? In that gentleman's case, he just appreciates it in the moment,
Just coming right
naturally.
back. Yeah,
He's going
naturally.
home from work or bouncing around and doing what the hustle and having to get gas and go shopping over here versus there. It just
The
becomes this
relief.
natural, like, oh yeah, this sense of relief that I'm home.
Yep.
And you know what? And I think that's important for the leadership of our country to recognize and realize. It's important for the local leadership to realize and recognize, and also too for people on both sides, the people on the
Mm-hmm.
regular, not to say regular, but the off territory, if you would, and in your territory, for those people to be able to understand and recognize, how can we strengthen that? How can we build on that? How can we create more positivity around all of that? I think that's huge. And with cannabis, we're able to do that as well. Do you think that he feels that sense of relief because he's riding with weed in an area that's just not, that just has different sets of rules? Or do you think it's a more of a personal, that's just what, you know what I'm saying, just that sense of relief side?
Sense of relief when you're coming from like it's freedom when you're on your territory, when you're on your land. It's a different kind of air. The air is different, and you'll feel it too when you come up here. You don't have to be from here. It's a feeling when you come up
You
here.
can feel and notice the energy
It's an
change.
energy change. I brought so many different people from everywhere up to territory from whatever point of it, and it's always been that of breathtaking. Like it's just a sense of relief and comfort, if you were to say. And the air just feels good and clean, and it just feels right.
Is
Uh,
that because the general area actually has clean air and is fresh and clean and has good energy,
That's a fact.
or is
It's
this
a
a
both.
Shinnecock tribal culture shift
Both.
that plays
It's a
into it?
both. It's a both thing. Don't get me
Cool.
wrong. We still in New York, but you feel that like it's just a different turn of events when you pull up on our territory. The feeling is there. You'll feel it as soon as you pull on, and it feels
What
good.
are some important aspects of your guys' Shinnecock tribal culture that you would like to highlight for people to know, understand, maybe here today? Uh, I'm half Mexican, and when I go to Texas, it's a whole different version of Mexican culture
Yeah,
than I get in Los Angeles. You know,
yeah.
my
People
understanding is
don't
New
think
York's Latin cultures are way different compared to here too. So
for sure.
I have to ask is what makes, in your eyes, what are some of the things that you really appreciate about Shinnecock tribal culture, and also what are some important things we should know off territory?
Really, the artistry that within everyone from the tribe. Everyone has a passion for something here, and they're all great at everything that they do. Whether that's within art, within crafting, we have a lot of crafters, bead makers, wampum makers, show like earring jewelry, painters, singers, dancers. There's athletes. Like there's just it's just raw natural talent that thrives within us as we are people, and just intellectual as well, but they bring sense of just warmth with everyone and everything that we do. So that I think that's just like something that we carry with us, and you can't really find that anywhere else because it's genuine.
I love that. When I growing up in Washington, you know, I think about Seattle, named after a chief. Puyallup, the Washington State Fair used to be called the Puyallup Fair. That's named
Right.
after a tribe. The salmon, the king salmon, the Chinook salmon,
The
named after a
Chinook.
tribe.
Right.
Yeah, I grew up around killer whales and all this symbolism. A lot of people don't know that the University of Oregon, the
The
Oregon Ducks, a lot of their art comes from these different tribes in the
tribes.
Pacific Northwest. There's something there's something in that culture up in the Pacific Northwest that I get a similar vibe and sense to, not just because of the native and the indigenous, but this appreciation for the outdoors and the animals and nature and just, you know, energy and a certain pace. You know, as the way you put it, things are just a little different. You know, in those places as we get away
Yeah.
from the city. And growing up out there, it was something that has always interested me in just learning about all this culture. And Nike even went through a phase for a while. I remember seeing, remember, you know, when we saw the wings and the ducks on the plate, you know,
Yeah.
football uniforms, and then we saw
Yeah.
seeing it in shoes, and then different clothing styles. It's
Nike has its own native section. It's the N8.
yeah, it's sick, dude. I
Yeah.
love the creativity that all people have, but I love that the native people across the United States and the indigenous tribes across the United States. I love that the resilience. I think that's the word I'm looking to find. Searching for
Yeah.
something that really can hit home and the resiliency of them, how it is displayed through creativity. Netflix. I watched the basketball documentary.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that was
one
good.
of the my favorite things that I watched either last year or the year before. Um, a lot to be learned, a lot to be shared, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you joining us here
Oh,
today
absolutely.
and before to help share the culture and help bridge the gap because there seems to be a very large misunderstanding about uh, our country and where it came from and the history and
Yeah,
the way
of
books will be
course.
written going forward and
Of
things like
course.
that. And so,
It's dangerous, man. And you have to just continue to educate and just continue to be like that source of just, good energy all through and through because there's so much of that and so much of so much desperation and depress like just just anger, I guess I would say. Hidden anger
there's
for
a
people.
historical precedence.
Yeah.
Difficulties, struggles, challenges, addiction has been
Addiction,
escalated
yeah.
is an undeniable aspect of it. And all of those things you could umbrella it, and then you could say poverty. You could wrap it up and be like, these are impoverished people that were set aside by the United States government, that were screwed over, taken advantage of, lied to, killed, murdered, you name it, right?
Exactly.
Disappeared, everything under the books. And you could say that, and you wouldn't be wrong necessarily.
Yeah,
In addition to
exactly.
that, everyone is resilient, everyone trying to make it, still fighting the fight, whether it's to live and survive or make something for themselves. And you guys are a shining example of the cannabis potential for
Yeah,
tribes across the country, right? For revenue, for job creation across the country, and all so many different places. And I just have a lot of respect for what you guys are doing and what you guys have achieved. Now I'm gonna pop off 5 questions to you. I want you to answer these as quick as you can. Okay.
sure.
All right. What advice do you have for Native people looking to enter the cannabis space, specifically there in New York around you guys? Because you're the one there, you're a store manager. You can look at a resume, you can make a recommendation if you meet someone, you like someone, whatever it is, right? Could be whatever it is to change someone's life. What do you recommend for somebody to do there, Native local individual?
Make
Yeah.
sure that you're doing it with purity and your intentions are right. It's important that, especially within cannabis, that everyone is saying this, giving the same message, and educating the same way, and it's the right way. So whether that's you being an indigenous person that's opening up a new business, make sure you're giving the right education, but also make sure you're giving the education.
Absolutely. It's going to be huge. I always say, and this is a cheesy quote, but the proper preparation prevents poor performance. Doing it the right way, you can learn that through research, folks. It's pretty easy to pop in and look through leaders in the space or ask questions or send
Yeah,
emails and things. You just got to not be shy and not be able to end up. You got to be resilient. You got to work through the barriers that exist. And even if you don't know what they are, you got to just ask questions. Okay, second question out of the 5. How can non-native allies like myself and customers that are non-native respectfully support tribal cannabis businesses? What do you guys want to see from us, if anything?
just support, whether that's with you coming in the shop or whether that's just advocating to your someone that may have sleeping problems, ailments in their body or whatever. Whether it's just spoken word or just coming in the shop, the whether it's all just let it be good energy you're talking about as with.
I'll add this in. Reposting content is free, folks,
Exactly.
unless you've already had your shit deleted, in which case then you got a high risk and that's not free anymore.
Right.
So repost, go online, repost some tribal companies, say something positive,
Exactly.
support them, and be genuine and authentic. Or go put your money where your mouth is.
Exactly.
All right. What's one thing people always get wrong about Little Beach Harvest or tribal cannabis in general?
Um, um, that the shop is owned by an individual person and not by the tribe itself.
Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah,
Just because
yeah.
like normal businesses owned by one person,
Yeah, exactly.
in
Yeah, that's
theory, can
it's a
generalize theory.
a general question that we always get asked a lot. That it's just owned by somebody or something, but no,
Mm-hmm.
it's owned by the tribe, and everything that we do is giving back towards the tribe.
Two-part question: what's the next generation of native-led tribal cannabis look like? And second part: what's coming down the line for Little Beach Harvest? We've got the holidays coming up. Literally the next 6 weeks is holidays. So
Yeah. So to begin with, I think that what you asked me, the
first
first
one, native.
thing.
What's next for native-led cannabis?
Oh, I think that a lot of the things that's about to jump off with the tribe itself, and not only just LBH, but the tribe, is once I'm able to get this cultivation and everything up and running, and this might interfere in your other question, but I'll also touch on that, is the cultivation will also stimulate growth for entrepreneurs within the tribe. If they're looking to start our own brand up, hopefully once we're in our third year, this cultivation being up, I have enough grow rooms to be able to suffice for somebody to be like, hey, I want to start a brand. Can we
Yeah,
run it up in this
give them a
outlet?
table, give them a tray, give them a
Exactly.
row.
Exactly. Give them a space so they could be who they want to be. And then on top of that, I see other people wanting to do things like us with growing out the having their own cultivation, their own processing places, or whatever way that may look. But I think that that's probably going to be the game
Cool.
that some people start to take in the near future. And then for LBH, so along with the cultivation, yeah, of course, we have all these holiday things going on. We have our this Saturday, we have our hash hole event where we will be celebrating our 2 year anniversary with Higher Function. They'll be coming out and they will be having co collab with us with some of the rosin that we have here. Also, with the
Nice.
brand Jungle Bear will be there, giving out some of their rosin to work with and hashish. And we'll just learn the education and learn the history of hash and hash rosin, and
Come
then
on.
they'll learn how to create donut holes and hash holes for themselves, and will consume and have a good time. There'll be a food truck out there, some Spanish and some Puerto Rican and Dominican Caribbean food. So it's a lot of good vibes,
Come
and
on, baby.
good
Let's go.
vibes and high
Little Beach
times,
Harvest on
man.
Saturday. Hash holes. Let's
Yeah, facts.
go.
Yeah, good times and high vibes.
Come
So it's gonna be
on.
lit. So we got that cooking up, and then just a lot of building from there with LBH. Is I want to get started on planning for our 420 and getting everything rolling for that, because our next couple the when we have our summertime is the most active for us. Like we get so many more people that come out, and it's just obviously great weather, so we have this whole open space, so we want to utilize it the most we can. So be on the lookout for a lot of our events, and you can stay in tune with that on our website or at littlebeachharvest.org, or you could find us on our Instagram at Little Beach Harvest.
Come
So,
on, man.
and we'll be updating all that, and join our loyalty system to stay in touch with that stuff too.
I love it, man. Jay, just such a wealth of knowledge and perspective here, and sharing the information about the tribes and everything you guys have going on is just wonderful, man. I appreciate you and your time for joining, and shout out again to Zoe for connecting us
Always.
earlier than well last year, and then as we got into this year, getting that first episode going. You know, I hope this second full year has been a blast for you. I hope you've had fun, man. It
Yes,
sounds like
sir.
you still really enjoy and love what you're doing, and have some really fun things in the works. You know, you still got your podcast going, you got events going still, you got new projects with the grow and these other. Last time we talked, there was no rosin, so now here we are. You guys have vapes,
Yes, sir.
pods, and the all-in-one. It's just a lot of growth all
We
around over
also
there.
got our own bevs, man. I forgot to tell you, bro. We got our own beverages out
Oh,
too.
you
They're
guys make
25
drinks.
milligrams. Yeah, I think I might have gave you one when I seen you at the Hall of Flowers thing that we for the for that event. I think that was some good stuff too. Yeah,
Man.
we got bevs and all that rolling, bro. It's a whole line of new stuff coming out for LBH.
How cool!
100%.
Yeah, you guys are on the move now. My last question that I'll shoot your way, because I was wondering this, and you just reminded me when you were talking about the rosin and stuff. Um, You guys are making your own rosin. You're pressing it. You guys from your own flower, all the
Yeah,
own.
we got our own facility that's doing that, and that's partnered with another native tribe that's doing it for us.
That's sick. So okay,
Yeah.
so then you guys will have collaborations coming up with these different
Yeah,
farms.
exactly.
That's
Yeah, we got some
um,
stuff coming out. I have, and the way that we're able to work too is like because of us starting this process and having a whole actual facility, we'll be able to start housing actual like national brands that want to be a part of LBH.
yeah.
And we could be working out of our own facility here on territory for like
Nothing
how
wrong
we're able
with
to do this.
nothing wrong with a native tribal individual franchising a business in the regular world. They could get a
Ex-
McDonald's if they wanted to. They can get a Jack in the Box
Exactly.
or a Taco Bell. Why not go ahead and get cookies? Why not go ahead
Exactly.
and bring another brand into that ecosystem, right?
Yep.
And how cool is that, man? I appreciate you sharing that. That's good. That's good info for anybody that could be interested in that, for sure, for sure.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
for everybody watching, this episode was sponsored by DeepRoots.io, our premium partner for all things dispensary, delivery service, marketing, SEO, SEM. If you guys want more foot traffic to your store, you guys want more orders to your dispensary, you want more traffic to your website, these guys are the best in cannabis. That's who I recommend. It's who taught me a lot. So we appreciate their support. Big shout out to them. Visit their website, deeproots.io. And you said littlebeach.org?
That it is. Littlebeachharvest.org.
littlebeachharvest.org for
Littlebeachharvest.org.
their website here. Go to their dispensary, tap in, subscribe to everything, or follow it, whatever they've got there, folks, so that way you guys can stay in the loop. And if you guys head out to New York, make sure you get your asses up to Long Island,
Yes, sir.
Shinnecock tribal lands, and go
Pull up.
support Little Beach Harvest. Come on,
Yes,
Jay Wright
sir.
in the building, store manager. Jay, I appreciate you, man. This was great. Thank you.
No doubt.